School project? You guys are from NT?
February 6, 2018,
Good for you.
Common Council meeting.
Oh, you already have it. Oh, I see where you're going.
February. I will, upstairs let them know, so they're not. Just so we know it's sitting there.
Yeah. I'm looking at it from that side, before, one was to do it like.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. If you please stand for the pledge and remain standing for the prayer, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we take these decisions that may affect our community, and continue to remind us that all we do here today and all that we will accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Could you turn the microphone on, please?
Okay, call this meeting to order on February 6, 2018 at 6:35 p.m. Can I have roll call, please?
Aldermans Garubi,
Present.
Braun,
Here.
Pecoraro,
Here.
Tyler. Here. Zedzilka.
Here.
Also present are Arthur G. Pappas and City Attorney Luke Brown.
At this time, I'd like to have some opening comments from the mayor. At this point, he's going to read the State of the City address.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. This isn't quite as long as last year, but make yourself comfortable because it does take a few minutes to get over the material. So I'll proceed at this, and thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for listening. My fellow citizens, members of the Common Council, city employees, members of the press, and guests, I come before you to report on the state of this great city of North Tonawanda. It's an honor to having been elected in November to serve as mayor for the next 4 years. Your confidence in me is humbling, and I truly appreciate the support that I've received. To begin, I believe North Tonawanda is going in a very positive direction with the assistance of the Common Council, Lumber City Development Corporation, and the great work of all city employees and the participation of our residents. My goal as mayor is to bring harmony to concerns and challenges that our city faces. Our city continues to grow economically, financially, and culturally to make this community a welcome place for visitors and new residents. During my past year in office, many changes have taken place, and there are many more projects in the works, all the while keeping taxes down to a 0% increase, while other surrounding municipalities have raised taxes substantially. With the hiring of the new city accountant, changes are taking place with new software, the hiring of grant writers, and the more efficiencies are being put in place. North Tonawanda was awarded over $4 million in grants in 2017. Most significant was the $2.5 million Smart Growth Fund announced by Governor Cuomo at the Rummington Lofts here in NT in October, which will greatly enhance our downtown area. Along with that, $50,000 grants have been received to upgrade our well-populated city market to improve amenities, enhance safety, green space, aesthetics, parking, and existing facilities. The city has been examining potential updates to codes that regulate the city, or the market. The Erie Canal Gateway Harbor has grants applied for and received by the city engineer included Main Street Green Infrastructure Improvements, otherwise known as GP, and Gateway Park and Sweeney Canal Wall Dock Improvement. Grants have been secured for the Erie Canal Gateway Harbor with new lighting, power upgrades, restroom updates, and more will enhance the area for boaters and residents during our summer months. New businesses have entered our city with the completion of Ivy League Construction, Pulp 716, Canal Side Wine and Spirits, Webster's Kitchen, Ascension Antique Arts and Artisan Market, and the Primary Care Facility on Kincaid Street. New businesses are being negotiated for various parts of the city to occupy vacant buildings, such as the multi-use micro enterprise to be located on Main Street. Zombie properties are being addressed as the zoning codes have been updated with new tools available to combat this problem. Groundbreakings have been held for the new 102-unit residential buildings on the Little River, including a multi-use venue. The new facility at DeGraff Hospital will provide state-of-the-art access care for residents in need. The property at 621 Payne Avenue has been rezoned, so the construction company Savarino will be able to begin construction for senior housing. There have been approved a transfer of land of 795 Walk Road, a 1.4 acre of land to NKM Development in exchange for a 2.43 acre parcel at 680 Erie Avenue, which provides useful property for the DPW. Community Development completed a housing rehabilitation program which helped to improve the housing safety and quality for 16 low-income families. The city and Lumber City Development have actively partnered with the Oliver Street Merchants Association to support Oliver Street redevelopment. This included the completion of an Oliver Street Needs Assessment and Action Plan in 2017. Deerwood Golf Course had maintenance done this past year with repairs to numerous water leaks in the irrigation system, satellites repaired, additional sod and seeding of areas, aerated and top-dressed greens, Doe 8 repair, and golf cart path work. The botanical gardens along the canal have been cleaned and much has been done to improve the area for weddings and other events. This was accomplished by the Parks and Recreation Department and many volunteers from the community. Moving forward, our city's infrastructure will continue to be a priority, as well as the conditions of our roads. $1.2 million was available this year for road improvement, and over 10 miles of roads were milled and paved in 2017. The Department of Public Works will continue to work diligently with the help of the new milling machine Asphalt Zipper, which was purchased last year and has tremendously aided with road repair. This will allow us to jumpstart road repairs before the actual paving season begins. The Common Council has budgeted for a new paver for 2018. This will enable us to pave more roads with better technology built into the machine. Much has been accomplished, but there's still a long way to go with our roads. A new design for the intersection of Payne Avenue and Meadow Drive is continuing to be studied, and if enacted, will alleviate the confusion for drivers. Most of you know that's a very difficult intersection right by Mid-City Plaza there. Other projects started and completed in 2017 are East Oliver water main replacement, Oliver Street emergency water line replacement, City Hall pointing Phase 1, City Hall entrance repairs, City Hall skylight replacement, and wastewater treatment plant capital improvement plan. Maintenance of our wastewater facility is crucial, and work has been done to improve this vital facility. Renovation of a 4 million gallon storage tank is to begin this year, and a full cleaning of the intake lines to provide better efficiency. Also, new sand and filter backwash pumps were installed, and the bar screens were replaced for incoming stormwater. Electrical systems and the installation of a new backup generator costing $1.4 million will be completed in Phase 1 by the end of 2018. Striving to provide a quality of life for citizens young and old, a new youth center has opened at the Hope Center on the newly dedicated Hope's Way, and already has shown a tremendous growth in attendance from the previous location. And I mentioned it before at meetings that the attendance now is over 110 kids per day that are attending that youth center. That's absolutely astounding, and it's just something we should be proud of and happy that that facility is there. The senior center continues to provide information, education, nutrition, trips, and special events for the older population. Culturally, we have celebrated the 90th anniversary of the Riviera Theater with record numbers of people now discovering our historic jewel. The city-owned Carnegie Arts Center continues renovations and has expanded activities with art shows and musical performances, and will continue to add to their repertoire. This is a tremendous thing too, because for those of you that don't know, that it's a very historic building donated by Andrew Carnegie, and we've been able to maintain that as a cultural center. For children in town, with the help of the county legislature, a very successful children's parade took place on the 4th of July, and another parade for Halloween began on Webster Street for trick-or-treating as part of the annual Haunted Harbor. Both were very popular, and I'm sure will continue. During the holidays, the Christmas caroling wagon acquired a record 10,808 cans of food for the food pantry and Meals on Wheels program. Continues to serve more residents ages 75 to 100, with over 110 to 125 meals distributed on Christmas Eve alone in the Tonawandas. In addition to this very needed service, we now will see the fruition of the Little Free Pantries project, which allows residents to take the food they need and give what they can. They now will have an easy access to food in a dignified manner. The Winter Walk drew record crowds with the addition of activities along the Oliver Street corridor. Without a doubt, the historic Carousel Museum, which celebrated its 70th anniversary, continues to draw young and old alike from our residents and tourists. This past summer saw a myriad of activities, especially for families. Pinewoods Park hosted a fun summer campout supervised by our auxiliary police. Tents dotted the park, and many camping activities were available for families to enjoy. Gateway hosted the long-established Pizza Fest, which became overwhelming with attendees. The Carousel Days leading up to Canal Fest kicked off the week-long celebration, and after many years, NT finally won the tug-of-war, and it was quite a few years. The Tonawanda mayor had to push the wheelbarrow, with me in it, over the bridge, which was an exciting moment for NT, and believe it was for me too. I have to, just as an aside, I have to say it was really nice to be the passenger in the vehicle this time instead of the engine that did the pushing. Different sponsors held events at Gratwick Riverside Park, including sports activities, concerts, kite flying, and other family events, with the demand increasing. The popular Thunder on the Niagara and Wines and Brews Fest again were successful and will continue. And for those of you that don't know, that Thunder on the Niagara is that is televised nationally and internationally, and it's a tremendous event. And if you haven't been there, please try to attend this year. It's a great family event. Public safety in all areas of this city is paramount. The establishment of the new anti-bullying law, which became an interest of national and international news, is a much needed step to keep our youth safe. Hopefully, keep everybody safe. 2 new officers were added to our police department, and a new chief was sworn in this past July. Along with the county sheriff's department, a dispatch dispute was negotiated so that the North Tonawanda Police Department now has a single channel designated only for North Tonawanda. In conjunction with the Sheriff's Department, we now have an alert system in place to notify residents of citywide concern. Improved repair lighting has taken place in the downtown area, and new cameras are being installed for greater public safety. The fire department responded to over 3,300 incidents in 2017, the busiest year ever. We took delivery of a new state-of-the-art self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA, partially funded through a $250,000 grant written by a North Tonawanda firefighter. We purchased a unique floating pump through a grant donated by the Niagara County Legislature. The pump can be used to get water from surrounding waterways. The city will take delivery in April of this year of a new medium-duty rescue vehicle. This was half-funded through a municipal facilities capital funding grant. We have begun another grant initiative in order to purchase a new fire engine for the city. A new NT Community Resource Hub service is now provided for residents, allowing them to access information from service providers in our Western New York area in a convenient manner. Legal and family services, insurance, weatherization, transportation service, and connecting people to employment are some of the needed services the residents may previously had a hard time accessing. Our Hometown Heroes Banners program has been expanded with the first 3 new veterans to be honored. Gratwick Park was rededicated with new signage, and the pavilion was named in memory of former Alderman Russ Rizzo. Also, the pavilion at the city market was dedicated to Elmer Moji, who sold produce there for 100 years, and a new permanent band shell is constructed at Raymond Klimek Veterans Park on the water. which will hold many new concerts and new events this coming summer. The Children's Memorial Garden is starting to take shape at Brower Park with a donation of local business companies. The new clock tower planned for Webster and Main Street is being designed for the future downtown along with other amenities at Charles Fleischman Park. The city has hired a grant writer to help obtain funds for future projects and to become more efficient in city operations. The city website is up and running to provide greater awareness to residents for information about city government. It is now more user-friendly and a location for residents to obtain information about city events, public meetings, and includes a new feature with a question and answer box for residents to voice their concerns. The Niagara Gazette Entry Extra paper has provided much needed information to residents along with the Amherst Bee, the Niagara Wheatfield North Tonawanda Tribune. The addition of the new Twin Cities Sun paper is even more comprehensive, so residents now have several outlets for news in town. The legal department is looking into possible updates or revisions of codes and ordinances which may be outdated or no longer effective. This department is busier than ever in these days of litigation and is keeping the city protected within federal, state, and local laws to make sure we are in compliance. They also are involved directly or indirectly with all departments dealing with employee issues and contract negotiations, to name a few. Our new city historian has been actively involved in research and concerning the history of certain land and buildings which played a significant role in our development. He continually provides suggestions on how our city can be highlighted in our forward plans. Having received a communication from a city in France concerning an unknown American soldier from World War II who was born and lived in North Tonawanda, our historian was able to provide information and identify the soldier buried in the French cemetery. Just to add a little to this, I received a communication from a French official in my office. They were trying to identify someone by the name of Payne, who they had news lived in North Tonawanda. We were able to identify his location. I believe it was on Oliver Street, and they were able to send this information to France, and they now have been able to mark this soldier's grave with the help of our city historian. So if anyone's more interested in that, I advise you to contact our city historian. He has all the information.
Peter Drinkwalder?
No, Joe Madura. Mr. Trinkwalder is no longer a historian. He retired from that position last year. The future holds many exciting improvements for our city, and with vision and focus, we can make it happen. Our geographical location holds uniqueness with the confluence of the Erie Canal and the Niagara River within a short distance from Buffalo and Niagara Falls. This should allow us to continue to develop our downtown and waterfront areas. Having our own Tonawanda Island is a tremendous asset to be developed in the future. There aren't too many cities that have their own island. I think we're about the only one, at least around New York State anyway, I think. So it's kind of a real advantage. We have more business inquiries coming forth each day, and many ideas are put forth to include other areas of our city. And I want to emphasize that too, other areas of our city. So we're not just looking at downtown, we're looking at the whole city. It's an honor and a privilege to serve as mayor of North Tonawanda. And with cooperation and effort, we can continue to move the city in a positive direction. Special thanks go to Governor Cuomo, Senator Robert Ort, Assemblyman Robin Schimminger, legislators Rich Andrus and Randy Brandt, Mike Zimmerman, Dale Marshall, Robert Orlowski, who were influential in obtaining grants for this city. There may be others. I hope I didn't miss them. I tried to include actual grant writers, but I'm sure there are others. Thank you to our department heads, Chief Sikora of the Fire Department, Chief Zagolak of the Police Department, along with Patty Brocious, Parks and Recreation, Brad Rowles with the DPW, Bill Davignon with the Water Department, Dale Marshall, Engineering, Kaz Capozzi with Code Enforcement, Amanda Reimer with Accounting, Barb Klenke, the Assessor, Dan Quinn our city clerk, treasurer, our city historian, Joe Madura, and our city attorney, Luke Brown, and all who assist them. And it's too numerous to name everybody, but to all that assist all these people to keep this city a pleasant and desirable place to live. Thank you to all city employees, members of the Common Council, and residents for the support to make NT stronger, effective, and fiscally healthy. We're in good shape right now, providing needed services in cost-efficient ways. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. At this point, I'd like to move on, and if anyone has any comments about the agenda tonight and the agenda only, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Just like this common council today, I need a lot more time. There's quite a bit on here, and there's some really juicy stuff on here that needs people's attention. I know you're not gonna give me the time needed on all of these items, and I have read the different things. Community development, item 32, regarding North Tonawanda Smart Growth Community Fund downtown placemaking proposals. This, Mayor, in your presentation today, I find it absolutely imperative that we hire a savvy, experienced planner. We need it very badly. As Michael Zimmerman reminded me over a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, we don't have a planner in North Tonawanda. We need it very badly. And what I've seen over the decades, I was right, we need one. I said in the early 60s, let's hire a senior planner. I got shot down. I said, let's hire a part-time planner. Again, I got shot down. This was started in the early 60s. Look at NT, those of you who are older. Contrast what was in the 60s and what we have now. I know you're gonna say, hey, we have all these different things, but we have things that are discombobulated, and they're not looking with the future and having things meshing together. It's, hey, that's a good idea there, that's a good idea there. Let's look at the big picture. So I want to tell you, I've got a problem also with in your smart growth group. You've got, once again, friends and family participating, moving forward. The plan for placemaking proposals. You say in here, the group is to be, where is it here?
You got 2 minutes, Sonia.
It is the people who are always making the decisions here, you're appointing them. Also, very importantly, and absolute no way, the person to be considered for the job of the downtown placemaking project, Joy Kubler, landscape architect, that is to be a no-go, in my opinion, based on what I've seen in this city. I'd like to get a really good architect, landscape architect, on your proposal for this project.
Sonia, if I could jump in here, I was part of the committee that recommended that Joy move forward with that, and it was unanimous from everyone who reviewed the packages that she was our first choice.
And those who made the decision were the city hall people, right?
Not all
Not all
City
City
Hall,
Hall.
there was other community involved in that decision.
And I wasn't there at the time, Sonia, but I've actually worked with Joy Keebler, and she's local, one, is great, so she understands the surrounding area, and she's pretty prolific on the East Coast for her work.
to piggyback what you're saying, who did where the parking lot is Manhattan parking lot? Who did that design, landscaping design there?
Mike Zimmerman, do you know, or Dale?
Well, yeah, it was Parsons, but it was originally a grant that I applied for.
Mhm.
with your
Could you speak up louder?
Yeah, it was, I think it was Parsons. Was it
Parsons?
Parsons, Mike.
Parsons?
Yeah,
The planning people?
we were talking about 10 years ago.
Hmm.
There was,
I have some photographs, and you guys had a workshop on it. You don't have to be a landscape architect to know you had somebody who was not with it. There's so many things on here, also about the dogs. You know, if I was a dog owner, I would say, hey, why do I have to be held responsible for my dog, but the cat owners don't have to be responsible for their cats and the nuisances and the running around? There's such a unequalness happening. This has got to stop. Let's have common sense. Let's care about our neighborhoods, about what we need, that we have it.
Sonia, I would challenge you that we are doing
Well, this is not the time
that.
to challenge me, because you know how I'm very limited here. On your ad about the east-west truck route, you know, it's like, if you don't read the ads, you will miss this. At least other municipalities, they'll say the reason for east-west truck road on top. You do not stipulate that
You
here.
missed the meeting and we
Missed the
had
meeting,
about
we had
100
a
people
public
here.
hearing.
Because
Last
they heard by the word of mouth. What I'm saying to you, you wanna check other municipalities, how, when they have public hearings, what have you.
We
Thank
announced
you,
it.
Sonia. Thank you,
Oh,
Sonia.
there's so much here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please compare the
Thank you.
cat ordinance and the dog ordinance.
Thank
It's
you.
unbelievable.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak on any agenda items only, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address. Seeing that there's none, we'll move on. Let's roll the minutes of the meeting, please.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session, January 16th, 2018.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, second by Alderman Zazoka.
we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Proof of publications published January 10th, 2018. Legal notice request for proposal to provide design services for improvement to Gateway Park, city engineer. Proof of publication published January 10th, 2018. Legal notice request for proposal to provide design services for the extension of the Sweeney Canal wall docks, city engineer. Proof of publication published January 19th, 2018. Legal notice, public hearing on the designation of a new east-west truck route, city clerk treasurer. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Alderman Zazoka, second by Alderman Berube.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Communications from city officials. Clerk treasurer regarding 2018 contract renewal with All Dogs Academy LLC for the housing of stray and abandoned dogs.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Alderman Braun,
I'll second.
second by Alderman Berube.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this item, please?
Aldermans Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Zazoka.
Aye. Motion's carried.
City clerk treasurer regarding reappointment of Michelle Ackerman as a commissioner of deeds for the city of North Tonawanda.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Zazoka,
Second.
second by Alderwoman Braun.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
City clerk treasurer regarding the Section 8 Renter Assistance Program Administrative Plan revisions.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro,
Second.
second by Alderman Tyler.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this, please?
Aldermans Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Zazoka.
Aye. Motion's carried.
From the engineer regarding award of contract for project 2015-10 Children's Remembrance Garden. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Alderwoman Braun,
I'll second it.
seconded by Alderman Zarzilka.
Can I have roll call on this, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zarzilka.
Aye, motion is carried.
Superintendent of Water Wastewater regarding water plant services contract for pump drives.
We had discussed this. I think we need more information on it. I know that Bill is, at a conference right now, so,
Is there anyone else here from water wastewater? If not, I'll make the motion that we table this until, we get some answers.
and I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to table this item. Can I have roll call, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zarzilka.
Aye. Motion's been tabled.
From the accountant regarding payment of the abstract of claims dated February 6, 2018.
I'll make the motion that we pay the abstract.
I'll second it.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman
We have a
Zarzilka.
motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zarzilka.
Aye, motion is carried.
From the accountant regarding budgetary transfer for the fire department to fund repairs to live hose for structural failure in the north garage floor.
On the question, do we have anyone from the fire department? Hi, Joe. How are you? Good. Can you explain that exactly? What's wrong with the building?
It has a basement. That's what's wrong with it.
I was at, I was at Live Hose last night, and I saw there was a leak happening, and
It's been a.
I know, but I'm just
This has
like,
nothing to do with the leak.
yeah, okay.
It has to do with a couple different things.
Um.
Older buildings, bigger fire trucks, and a basement under it. The same repair was made back in Oak Bivedale to the south side, where it starts to crumble and it's no longer safe to put the fire truck over it. We don't want to put a $500,000 fire truck into the basement. So the truck has been housed on the other side. After that repair was made, now the north side needs the same repair.
Okay,
Very good.
That's a
Thank you.
much needed
Thank you.
repair, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah,
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Zarzilka.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Tyler,
aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zarzilka.
Aye, motion is carried.
From the assessor regarding various property exemptions for taxes.
I disagree with this. I know she had spoke at the workshop, week prior, 2 weeks prior, and, I don't see any reason why we cannot include numbers 2 and 3 in our exemptions. I think it deters certain businesses from potentially coming into North Tonawanda. And I know opinions, thoughts?
The Cold War exemption has already been granted through the
Right,
state.
so I'm talking about 2 and 3.
Right, you already said yes on 2 and 3, but you're saying no on 1?
No, I'm saying I want 2 and 3, and this is stating that we should opt out of them. We should opt out of solar. We should not want to approve the green building exemption. So if someone wants to come into the city.
What's your problem with number 1?
No, 1's fine. I
Okay.
think it should be separate from 2 and 3 right
Okay.
now. I would say we could approve number 1, but I think we still need to table numbers 2 and 3, and have a further discussion with Barbara as to why she feels they're not necessary for North Tonawanda.
I do know, not to interrupt, but I do, for number 3, she does not assess solar panels. So whether
She
that's there or
said
not,
that.
she's
Well-
not gonna assess it
well-
differently.
The discussion that we had with her at the workshop meeting, I said, is this going to affect your job in any way? She said, no, and I understand you're saying she doesn't. Is it something that she needs to take a class then to do? Because, moving forward, a lot of cities are looking in this direction, green building exemptions and so on, solar panels. I don't have a solar panel. Maybe I want one, but I got a conflict of interest there. So I would table numbers 2 and 3. I think 1 is appropriate right now.
So for Barb's letter, all in favor of approving 1, but tabling 2 or 3 will be on the vote.
So
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
And I'll make that second that we sit down and talk about. if that's what we need to do
I
to
think we
discuss
should.
this. So we can vote on it
So-
and at a later date.
So the motion on the floor is to keep number 1 and to table 2 and 3
Correct.
after further discussion. So we have a motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zazilka.
Aye. Motion carries.
From the police chief, appointment of Michael J. Brocklehurst as a police officer for the North Tonawanda Police Department.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Zazilka.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mike. Stand up, Mike, tell everyone who you are.
From the police chief, I have regarding approval of contract with Safariland for body cameras for the police department.
Make a motion that we approve the contract with this Safari Land.
I'll second that.
Moved by Alderman Zazilka, seconded by Alderman Pecoraro.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this item, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zazilka.
Aye. Motion carried.
From the fire chief regarding appointment of Jacob Poland as a firefighter for the North Tonawanda Fire Department.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Moved by Alderman Tyler, seconded by Alderman Berube.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations.
And also from the fire chief, 2018 volunteer companies contracts.
I'm making that motion that we approve all the 2018 volunteer contracts.
I'll second that.
By Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Braun.
We have a motion and a second. Can I have roll call on this item too, please?
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Pecoraro,
Aye.
Berube. Aye. Braun,
Aye.
Zazilka.
Aye. Motion carried.
Could you tell us how those different amounts
I'm
were
sorry.
evaluated for each place?
We can tell you after the meeting, but you can't shut off from the audience.
I have traffic safety regarding various traffic safety recommendations from their January meeting.
I make a motion that we accept all the recommendations.
By Alderman Zazilka,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Pecoraro.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Monthly reports, city clerk treasurer.
Make a motion to receive. Yeah, I'll second it.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Zazilka.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Semi-annual vacation and sick leave reports, city clerk treasurer, youth recreation parks, police department, fire department. Do I have a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Berube,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Braun.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Community development regarding North Tonawanda Smart Growth Community Fund Downtown Placemaking Proposal.
I make the motion that we accept JKLA as our person to move that project forward.
I'll
And I'll-
second that.
That'll beat me.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Braun.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried.
I have communications from others. Gretwick Hose Company regarding exemption petitions for years of service, 5 years, Eric Miller and Sandra Damaswich.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Alderman Berube,
I'll second it.
seconded by Alderman Zazilka.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I have to have a motion to bring a late communication to the floor.
I'll make that motion that we allow the late communication.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, second by Alderman Zazoka. I will read that late communication.
You want all in favor?
All in favor of that, bringing that to the floor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This is from the mayor regarding administrative assistant. Dear honorable body, please be advised that I am appointing Daniel DiVirgilio to be my administrative assistant effective February 12th, 2018. Mr. DiVirgilio's pay will be $45,000. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Make the motion that we accept Dan and welcome to the mayor's office.
I second
Moved by
that.
Alderman Pecoraro, second by Alderman Zazoka.
Welcome, Dan.
Want to stand up?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, on to any public comments, any city business for the good of the city. Please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Any city business, anybody wishing to step forward, please come to the podium.
Hi there, my name's Jacob Pullum. I live at 219 East Felton. You guys just approved my hiring. Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity you've presented me, and I will do my best to uphold the position you've appointed me to.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good
Congrats.
luck. Jacob, good luck.
What was your address again?
219 East Felton Street.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob.
My name is Mike Brocklehurst. I also just wanted to say I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunity to start with the North Tonawanda Police Department.
Welcome.
Well, Mike, you have an address? An address, Mike?
Oh, 452 Linwood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak on any city business for the good of the city, please step forward.
Good evening, Sonia Juza, 122 Hill Street, North Tonawanda. Very quickly, in the Traffic Safety Committee, one of the members, I think a new member, had said with respect to the east-west trucking route, hey, there's a solution to this. We could get a special permit to use a non-truck route. Why would we want to do that? We want to protect and keep our good roads good, not have trucks on a non-use truck route. That's very quickly. Also, in that community development, in the paragraph, last one on page 1, a request for proposals was issued in December 2017, and the city received 2 proposals from professional firms. A review committee was convened with representation from the city council, mayor's office, community development office, Lumber City Development Corporation, Niagara County, and the Webster Street business community. How close can you get to friends and family? And let's give it to the other friend. There's that. And there's also, I'd like to see a quality work done in North Tonawanda. So I've made my feeling known on that. And moving along, if anybody reads 26A tax ordinance, chapter 33D, I'd like people to look at it, read, compare the difference. Dog owners are held responsible. People with cats and people who are feeding cats, which they shouldn't be, are allowed to continue a practice that doesn't make it better for cats. And we have an ordinance that we're gonna hold the person who's got the cat for feeding, but how can you know this? They don't have a collar. They're not accounted for like dogs are. I'd like to see also, and I've wanted to mention this a few years already, we need to do a census of dogs, and I'd like to see cats also have to be registered, just like dogs. It's not only gonna be good for your revenue, but it'll be good for the dogs and cats. Maybe they'll be taken care of as they should be. And given the care, the help, the caring. This trap and neuter, to me, this is heartless. It's like adopting a kid, and then you don't feed the kid, you just let it go without training and what have you. That's a quick analogy. That's heartless. We should be having equal responsibility.
2 minutes,
There's that.
Sonia.
Very important here. I would like to ask you, and I'm gonna take a guess. There's a lot of people who haven't read this, but I'd like you, the Common Council, and the audience to read City of North Tonawanda comprehensive plan that was proposed by Stuart Brown. When he came in here, the zoning board of appeals and the planning people were participating. When this plan was done, the current one, I was told at Budway's one day when I'm waiting to make an order, a zoning board member came up to me and he said, when this one was being done, the zoning board of appeals and the planning commission were excluded. They were not to participate. Stuart Brown not only had the city planning and zoning involved, a few of us, a handful of us, were participating in the work group.
1 minute,
when this was
Sonia.
put together. Please read both and compare. This one points out things that are a problem in the city which need to be addressed. This one shoves it down your throat. This is what's going to be in North Tonawanda. We need participation. We don't have it in the city here. And very importantly, I have said to the city, North Marion, across from 108 Summer Street, is residential. You will see in this document as well, Michelle Tove, who was head of the community development before Michael and another person took over. And she stipulates in here, because I caught it and I said, Michelle, west of North Marion is residential. And she made a point, you'll see it right here. She made a point. It reads, May 17th, 1990. Figure 13 in the final plan will be revised to clearly show that the west side of North Marion between Summer and Robinson is residential.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
reason this is important,
Thank
Time
you.
is up, Sonia.
Thank you
can
very
I
much.
finish what that thought was? The reason this is so important is when a person was coming for a variance, because in front of him was residential, not manufacturing, he had to be 50 feet
Thank you,
in
Sonia.
his front yard
Thank you.
Okay.
from his lot line, not 25. They
Sonia.
totally disregarded it.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Are you obvious about shut her up?
5 minutes. Anybody else wishing to speak?
Nice. Steve enters North Tonawanda Police, I'll just use the station today, there's 216 pay now. I wanna bring one thing up to you as a parent, as a taxpayer, and as an officer. The current condition of Ridge Street, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I happened to go through there the other day with my patrol car and I almost lost my front wheel. I'm concerned as a parent because there's so many kids that travel up and down that street every day. And if you're there on a weekend, because they host all the soccer and baseball and stuff like that, people are weaving in and out of traffic to where someone could be walking. And I understand the issue is that the school owns up to just past the gate. Dale, you could probably explain better.
I think Ridge ends right around, is that Oakwood there?
Yeah, just past the stop sign. And then Sportsplex, whoever owns that, is responsible for that. Very little repair has ever been done to that section of our city, and I think it's an embarrassment to our city. We have all these people that are continually coming to use that venue, and then you have the older community that does the Meals on Wheels every day, and it's like a zoo, and now you got school buses and construction vehicles. And I would just ask, as a parent and as a taxpayer, that you really look into that and send our code enforcement over there to get something done. It's not something that can be patched. That entire section of that street needs to be milled and redone and connected with the school property. And I know you have 3 different confluences of interest there, but if you guys could really look into that and make that happen. And I think of the kids, some of those potholes I measured, it was 8 inches deep. And you have kids walking there, now you have school buses and then parents dropping kids off. It's a real hazard. And I hope you put that as a top priority to get that.
It's been a top priority for a couple of years, the mayor.
Can I just say a couple words on that? This has been a problem for umpteen years. For what reason, nobody really knows exactly, except it's involved, as you said, the too many parties involved, and the city only owns up to a certain part, and the rest we're not responsible for. And we can't just go on there legally and patch it, because it belongs to private owners. We've been working on this. In fact, I had code enforcement down there yesterday, and they spoke to the owner today. They are planning a meeting. I spoke to the school superintendent today also again. And apparently, the original story the school superintendent got from the owner and their attorneys or whatever is not the same story that was heard by the owner today. So a meeting is being arranged between the code department, the school superintendent, and the owner of Sportsplex. They are going to get together and see if they can resolve this somehow. So that's in the works, and hopefully they'll get it resolved before too long. But they made contact today.
Yeah, and Steve, we've to piggyback what he said there, we've met with the school board committee with Bob Pecoraro, myself, Greg Wotilla, and 2 or 3 representatives of the school board, in addressing that as our top concern, but we don't own it. We've given them options to the owner. We've had talked to Kaz, we've talked to Luke. Luke was working with Kaz, right, Luke, on this, because if you don't own the property, we're trying to hold them to some property maintenance. But the way the things are stated, it makes us impossible for the city to act upon those repairs. We've made several proposals to them, and like he said, we're waiting to hear what it's gonna happen. And one of those proposals could be that the school district takes over and they maintain it. But it was disallowed before in the past.
The owner of Sportsplex, from what I heard from the code people today, was that he was very amenable to meeting and discussing this and see if we can come to a resolution.
So we're very close.
Okay. Is it, just a question, is there a possibility, just because I've dealt with that place in the past, as a parent, he's very slow to respond to any kind of repairs. I mean, you'd be inside and it'd be raining on you in there. Is it a possibility that the city does it themselves and then puts it in his taxes to make amends?
I think from a liability standpoint, we don't really want to take that on, because it's not a city street, and then we go in and repair it, then at that point, we're putting ourselves on the hook for the repairs that are made. And we have kind of gone around and around this issue, because ideally, we can work out a solution between Sportsplex and the school. Easy solution would be the school buys it, and that was on the table at one point and it fell through. Last time we met, we brought that up again, and the building department is trying to facilitate that. The problem with just bringing them into court for failure to maintain their road, say we bring them into court, we make them fix it. Well, then they're gonna say, we don't want anyone going on our road that we just paid to fix. So then they cut off the school's access, they cut off the Meals on Wheels access, they cut off the kids' access. So, there's a problem with banging them over the head with it. So it's kind of a delicate situation where you don't wanna make them angry where they're not gonna let us use the road, the right of way anymore,
Right.
so.
No, I understand, listen, it's just, I've been here a long time, and that's been a constant issue for us as police officers. If there's an emergency, we're gonna flip the car over going to
I
get.
go there every weekend for my son to play soccer, so I know what you're saying.
All right, well, again, I just didn't know if you were aware, but I'm certain that you are now, so thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve.
This issue has been, I don't know how many years, but way before.
We were up on the school board, and it was an issue, and the school board and the Sportsplex owner were this close to making the deal, and then something fell through and it never happened.
Well, one time they had 4 partners in there, now
Right.
they're down to 1.
Now they're, yeah.
What was
one
the
person.
original issue with it? Why didn't it go through?
Well, it was,
On the,
If I may, can I jump in here?
Well,
yes, because you're right there too, right?
Good evening, my name is Carl Bauer, and I live at 1066 East Robinson. And I just so happen to be the president of Twin Cities Meals on Wheels. So I'm very cognizant of this. So if I may, and I'm probably gonna be repeating a couple of things, but I'm going to be attending the school board meeting tomorrow, and I am thrilled. Hopefully I'm a day late and a dollar short hearing what has been transpiring about communications between Sportsplex and the Board of Education. If I may, and like I said, this will be brief, but it may be a little bit redundant. What I was gonna start off by opening and say a couple of dirty words, Ridge Road. Okay? Meals
I
on
think there's some
Wheels.
there's some holes in that.
Wow, that's.
Thank you. Meals on Wheels is a volunteer organization serving the needs of the community in the form of the shut-ins and disabled. We have had a predicament lately. I've had a couple of volunteers actually quit because they're worried about the damage to their cars. So whether it be a police vehicle, emergency vehicle, or just one of my volunteers' cars, nobody really wants to incur that. It's a given that Ridge Road, and this is gonna be repeating some history, has been rough and a travel boom for a long time. The condition deteriorated this past summer, and this may be something that y'all could use, okay? Largely due to the heavily loaded dump trucks going through there. We were told very early on that the truck traffic would go through school property. This was stated at a Board of Education meeting, okay? Obviously, that didn't happen. They chose to go up and down Ridge Roads between, Payne Avenue and the construction. And I'm not faulting anybody. You're gonna take the shortest route, okay? But as I said, we were under the understanding that that wasn't gonna be done through, school property. I'm not completely in the know, as I'm sure most everybody here is, of the previous discussions, conversations, disagreements, and whatever between Sportsplex and the Board of Education. But I'll jump into what I was gonna say tomorrow. My purpose this evening, or will be tomorrow, is to hopefully prompt some discussion between the Board of Education and Sportsplex. My ultimate hope would be that an arrangement could be made such that Ridge Road could be repaired and repaved. My logic is this is twofold. The third world condition of Ridge Road is largely because of the aforementioned heavy truck traffic, okay? And of course, some, if you will, benign neglect, because I'm not gonna fault anybody, but as several of you have stated, it's just occurred over the years, and it's, there's never been an easy solution. Hopefully one will come up through some prompting on the part of the city council and me and some of my organization going and making some noise, okay? My pitch to the school board would be that please consider that driving your buses through here is not healthy, as well as it's not good for our organization's volunteer vehicles. Lastly, I'm pretty sure it would be tragic if a student were to be injured because a driver dodged a pothole and struck a student. And students do walk through there all seasons of the year.
Correct.
Obviously, a number of you have been involved with the Board of Education, so you know of what I speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanna make, one thing clear too. The school superintendent wants this done too.
Oh, no, I don't question that, Art.
No, I know you don't, but I'd wanna make it clear to the audience. He has even indicated to me that he's going to, again, ask if there's some way, meeting part of their responsibility is having an easement, that they're willing to pay some money toward this to take care of the situation.
That would be outstanding.
And he's willing to present that to the board again, and he's going to. And as I said, they are right now in the process of getting together again with, the parties. It would mostly be between the owner and the school district, because the city does not have
Correct, they don't
anything
own.
there. So it is gonna take place, and the superintendent said he would keep me informed, and of course, I will keep asking too if there's a need to. But they are going forth with this. We know the problem.
So I'm gonna keep everything crossed, okay, fingers and everything else.
No, and go to the meeting
And
tomorrow.
that was gonna be the next question, should I go? Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it absolutely needs to be heard.
Thank you, gang.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak on any city business or anything for the good of the city, please step forward, state your name and address. Seeing that there's none. Oh, there's one more? There he is.
Dan DiVirgilio, 162 Dominio Drive. I just wanted to say thanks, and I'm looking forward to starting my role as the mayor's administrative assistant. Thank you.
Dan. Congratulations. Anybody else wishing to state any city business? Please come to the microphone. Seeing that there's none, we'll begin closing comments, starting with Austin Tyler, please.
Hello, everyone. So Sonia, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm unaware of any cat laws. I will certainly, I'm unaware of any cat laws, and if you have any information on that, you had discussed the equality between cats and dogs,
What law?
correct?
Cats.
Cats,
That's what I thought.
cats, yeah. So I'll look into the idea of cat equality with
Not
dogs.
difficult. It's real short.
Oh,
Okay, Sonia, you had time? Sonia, please let him speak.
And then the other thing with the comprehensive plan that you had mentioned, yes, there was a study done in 2008 by a company called Bergman. I had addressed this at an earlier date, and some of the things stated in it have been implemented, some have not. And I said the bones are still there, and we still implement a lot of those ideas within our city and many others. And it was actually, there was a public sort of interaction with it along the way. You had mentioned
Are you
that.
talking about Oliver Street?
I'm talking about the comprehensive plan that you had in your hand earlier, the one from Bergman.
That, you know,
So
that,
that's, we can talk after. And so, you know, there was a public voice in that, just like the studies that are being.
what's called.
Sonia, I'm gonna warn you one more time. No shouting out from the audience.
audience.
This is the order of the meeting.
Sonia, we can talk
You've
after.
had your time to speak. It is closing comments for Austin Tyler, not Sonia Duza. I'm not gonna tell you again. I'm not gonna tell you again.
So.
Please respect that.
So we can talk after. And the other thing with Ridge Road, I know everyone made comments about that. I had talked to Zach Nemec and Michelle Golding from the school board, and they're aware of the situation. Also got some anonymous letter from a resident, which I don't mind. I just hope there's no arsenic on it or anything. But so we're aware of the situation, and we're all acting on that as well. So thank you everyone for coming too, and congratulations to the new hires. I think they already ran out. They're probably going to work. So thanks.
Okay, Alderman Bob Piccardo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening and welcome. I too want to congratulate the two first responders that are new to the fire and the police department, and of course Dan to the front office for the city. Thank you for your service. We definitely need your help with everything we're doing to move forward with. But I also want to recognize the former chairman of the Traffic Safety Committee, Chief Sikora. Chief, you gave up the chairmanship, but we want to thank you for all the years of service you did as the chairman of that committee, so thank you very much for that. And finally, Mr. Mayor, I know we had a big year last year, but this just says so much more. I knew I was tired, but I was tired for a reason. And I want to thank you for your leadership overall for the city of North Tonawanda. It really has made a big difference.
Good job.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Alderman Mark Ruby.
Again, I would just like to thank three new hires here this evening and wish them well in their endeavors. And with the mayor and stuff and the state of the city, I think we're moving in a very positive manner throughout the city. And that's basically it.
Thank you. Alderwoman Donna Braun.
Thank you. I would like to thank the mayor for taking the time that he did to cover everything that the city has done in this past year, and I guess that's why I'm tired too. But I really,
You didn't have an F today.
I like the fact, Mayor Pappas, that you included and thanked the people that do work for the city, that the department heads that make the city run, the department heads that you can pick up the phone and call and actually talk to them, and hopefully we can get a problem solved. So I'm very thankful for that, because I think they are very important people out there. Some of them are here tonight. And I would like to congratulate Mr. Poland. Welcome to our city. And Mr. Brockenhurst, but I think he left. but I welcome you, and of course, Dan DiBergilio, welcome to, City Hall. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, City Attorney Luke Brown.
I don't have anything for tonight.
All right, thank you. Clerk Treasurer Dan Quinn.
I would just like to also congratulate those three gentlemen. I think they'll be a great help to the city. I would also like to let you know that our interim auction is scheduled for March 10th. It'll be started at 9 o'clock. Registration starts at 9, the auction starts at 10. It'll be more information posted, at least on our city calendar on the website, and we'll probably put something out in the paper if you want to get you closer. Also, to our residents, continue submitting the questions through the website, question and comments. Like I said, if I can't answer them, I always send them on to the correct department who can answer them, and they, from my knowledge, are getting back to you guys. So continue doing that. I also forward them on to the mayor so he can see what people are questioning or asking. So I think it's a great avenue for you guys to question the city.
Thank you. Mayor Art Pappas.
Just very quickly, I think people have heard enough from me tonight, but I just want to thank everybody again. The accolades go to everybody involved in the city. No, I don't care who the mayor is, whether it's me or someone else. Things don't get done and taken care of positively without the complete cooperation and support of the council and the city workers, the department heads, and the residents. And we've had tremendous support from all of them, and I really, really sincerely appreciate it. So thank you to everybody, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Lastly, I'd also like to just say, we're looking forward to the new officer who's been hired. Congratulations to him, Mike Brocklehurst and Jacob Poland for the firefighter, as well as Dan DiBergilio. Welcome, welcome to City Hall. And I also want to say, I was quite impressed with the State of the City address. I think it says more than just we're alive and well. There's countless things, read it again if you need to, that the city's worked hard on. When we first started years ago on the council, there were a lot of things that we had to finish, the project of yesterday, tomorrow. And now, we're starting new projects and getting them done. And we're getting them done sometimes in the middle of our term, the beginning of our term, and not necessarily the end of our term, but then too, which tells you that, we're not just progressing, we're taking care of new business, and we are putting that to bed and doing it in an efficient and cohesive and cooperative manner with each and every one of the department heads mentioned in this State of the City address. So, I'm just very pleased and honored to be on this council, to be this council president, to work with the mayor, to work with my colleagues and all those department heads, because they do make these things happen. And if you listen and reflect on this presentation that the mayor made tonight, I think everyone should be hopeful and on all the improvements that you've heard, and that we're hardly working on new improvements and continuing that momentum. That's always been this mission of this council. As far as participation, somebody had brought that up as far as participation by the city officials in these and different city matters. Again, take a listen to what the mayor had to say. You can watch it back on videotape. It'll be posted on the website, Sonia. There's many participation. Nobody's left out and everybody's working together. And that's something that you don't see happen every day. So other than that, I'd just like to say thank you for coming tonight. And I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. So moved.
By Alderwoman Braun.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Meeting's adjourned.
Any student that needs paperwork signed, please come up to the front. Anyone up here can sign it for you.
I could sign anything over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It was such a positive speech. Thank you. It's so wonderful. And very happy to have the opportunity to serve in public safety. Several issues in it. Thank you. It's just a pleasure. I usually don't get to those meetings, but today was nice.